Hear the bird? He's whistling. Hear the wind, the crickets, the crabs crawling. I'm sitting in a marsh and I'm playing hooky from a talk at a conference I'm at about nature. The talk is about nature and relating to animals, so I do that so often and so well that I thought I'd play hooky and talk to you, my dear friend, about nature and all that is of it, including us. We are one with nature. We are part of nature. We are nature. We're not separate. And for anyone who thinks they are, they haven't yet spent much time really closely feeling and imbibing the energy of nature, because it's the same as your energy, the same exact nature. You know, there's two words for nature. There's the nature of something. It's either good or bad or loud or soft. And then there is nature, which I capitalize, which is Mother Nature, which is all that is created. Some people even refer to that as their higher power, their deity. But for me, nature is part of the hugeness, of the undefinableness of what that energy is, that some people call, I don't know, all sorts of names for it. We don't have to get into that. Higher power is good. I like the word Om because I'm a yogi, and Om is actually a sound that the ancients heard when they got really quiet. If it's pronounced correctly with the A-U-M type of inflection rather than the O-M. We in the West usually pronounce it Om, which sounds okay, but from scripture it's pronounced Aum, A-U-M, and each one of those syllables represents something. And I'm not going to get into the scholarliness of it, because to tell you the truth, I read things and I remark upon them and I say, that's why it's Aum instead of Om. And I just adopt that and not think it's necessary to know all the facts and all the footnotes and all the historical this and that's. I just adopt things that feel good. Oh, there's a sound, if you can hear it. That's not nature, that's man-made. Hear it? It's a jet. I am in Virginia Beach, and I'm close to Hampton Roads, which is the major port of entry. Woo, listen to it. And departure for ships, aircraft carriers, and I think there's even a naval base here. I'm not sure. I think there is. I'm not hip to that. So what am I doing here? Besides playing hooky, I'm sharing with you the life of the creative person, the spiritual creative person. I've devoted all my creative energies to honoring spirit, honoring the divine, honoring how to get there, how to find it. My own story, because I came from a place just the opposite. I was not endowed with good guidance, so I had to discover a lot of the mystery of life on my own. I explored, and then I adopted what felt right. And if it stopped feeling right, I explored some more. And today I'm very content and kind of, in a safe place where I feel very much one with all of existence. That is really honoring nature as the source of our divinity, our sacredness, our consciousness, that we are all connected through consciousness. That's what nature really shows us. Just like in our body, okay? We have a cell down there way, way, way far at the tip of a toe, and we have a cell way, way, way up here at the tippy top of our brain, but they're all interconnected. I can think just about that toe and I have a connection with it. And just the same way, we are all connected in this world of nature, this cosmic, not just universe anymore, it's a multiverse. We just keep expanding about our knowledge. We keep discovering one thing after the next, and it's all nature. Okay, the man-made stuff, that comes down to once upon a time, a man was part of nature. Now they might learn technology and techniques and invent things that are mimicking nature or taking advantage of the dynamics of nature. They call them man-made, but really, where does the original thought comes from? It comes from nature. Everything is a manifestation of this oneness that we are all a part of. So I'm sitting here in a mud flat. It's very beautiful. It's low tide. And all around me, I see not just the beauty of nature, I see a few man-made obstructions, pieces of plastic that get washed up on every shore. But not too many. Mostly old clamshells, scallop shells, and lots of mud where the crabs are going in and out. And you could hear the birds. Yes, that bird is probably looking at us saying, what the heck are you doing here in my territory? But I'm enjoying it and I'm sharing it. And he's laughing at me. Listen to him. He's just saying, you fool. You thought you were separate? You thought you were bigger and better? Ha! No, I don't. I can laugh too. I love it. I think that's oh yes, he's right up there. He's laughing at me. I love it. So, I'm not going to talk too long because I have to go to the next talk, which is about consciousness and the expansion of consciousness. And, ooh, that crow is coming closer. He's checking me out. He's saying, well, you're a pretty foxy-looking little part of nature. He's checking me out as much as I'm checking him and his surroundings out. We're all so curious, aren't we? We want to know about everything we can. And when we stop being curious, you might as well be dead. Come on, just be curious. Just pretend each day is a new day. And each thought is another, aha, wow, I never knew that. I can keep learning and expanding. And as much as we think we know, there's always so much more to know and to discover and to share with the person in front of us, or the bird who's opening up their beingness with me, with us. And I get to feel what it's like to be a bird. He's flying away now. Have you ever wished that you were a bird? Just for like a few minutes to feel what it's like to just fly. I used to feel that way all the time as a kid. And just now, as the bird flew away, I had that remembrance, what it was like. Even in my dreams I flew. A lot of us humans, we do dream about flying. So why do you think that is such a commonality? I used to fly in my dreams. Two different ways that I can remember. One was just for fun, like I'd be at the top of a staircase in my house where I was growing up, and I just said, okay, instead of just rolling down or bumping down on my bum, I'm going to fly down. And so I did, in my dream. I would not try it in real life because I know from other accidents that you have to be careful about being too much of a daredevil. Although these days, the extreme people are really playing with fire, some of the stuff they do. And then the other way of flying, now this was the most interesting to me. And it was quite recurring. I had some stuff to work out as a kid, as we all do. Whether it came in with me as a newborn, not just what happened with growing up or parental stuff or, what society does to us, but I used to have these kind of negative creatures, call them demons, who were chasing me, and I could fly. I could fly just above where they were trying to reach out and grab me and bring me back and probably devour me, which of course is fear. And I didn't want to give in to my fears, as we all try not to. So in my childhood, I learned to just fly above them. And they would reach and they would jump, and I always could just flutter my wings a little bit more. I don't think I had wings, I think I had arms that were pretend wings. But I could keep myself hovered just enough, out of reach, so none of those demons, none of those fears, none of those weird, creepy, crawly things that hide under the bed when you're a kid and manifest themselves out into the world when we get older. None of them could capture me, ever. I never got captured by them because I wanted to fly above them. And I think that that's an urging that we all have. And that's our connection with nature, because we're always in the state of evolving. And we're not just the same little being that we were when we popped out of our mother's womb. We're different every day. We're evolving, expanding, learning, absorbing, and hopefully not becoming so ossified, so concretized, that we don't have room for listening to another person's point of view. Even though we might feel that they're wrong, they might have some interesting concepts about why they have another point of view that we never even knew about or cared to learn about until that little crackling crow, which is another person's point of view, came along and squawked at us and got our attention. So then we have a choice to listen and to open our minds and to maybe even put ourselves inside their beingness and see what it feels like to be that being, squawking another way, flying another way, surviving another way, chasing their dream another way. It's very interesting, this thing called life. It just keeps getting more and more interesting. So I'm going to walk gently and carefully out of my little mud patch here and wander back to the ARE. And if none of you know about the ARE, I'll just tell you briefly. It stands for the Association of Research and Enlightenment. And it is the foundation, it is the organization that keeps pure and keeps expanding with new concepts of how to spread awareness that was started in the 30s and 40s around the work of Edgar Cayce, who is known in America as the sleeping prophet. So I have a relationship with this organization, very, very deep and wonderful relationship. To me, it's American yoga. And yoga to me is oneness. Everything is consciousness. When I think of yoga, it's not a religion, it's a philosophy. Everything is connected. Everything is the divine, if we look at it in a certain way. And that's the training of being a yogi. So if anybody wants to check out the ARE, the website is Edgar Cayce, that's spelled Cayce is C-A-Y-C-E, edgarcayce.org. And I am attending, along with my beloved Carter, the week-long conference called Peace and Unity. And that's what we're working toward. That's what we're spreading once we have experienced ourselves. And our jobs as people who are committed to this sharing, this wonderful spreading of light and upliftment, we are part of this network of those who call ourselves the light workers. We're spreading the light of love, the consciousness of love, which is the opposite of fear. So if any of you have still confusion, fear, doubt, anxiety, anger, whatever is going on, just check out the opposite, which is something you can cultivate. And I don't mean just loving your peanut butter sandwich or loving chocolate. I'm talking about a state of mind where everything is positive and meant to be, because it's about evolution. And this present moment may be a little uncomfortable for some, But it is not just this eternal thing. This present moment is a bridge to the next moment, which is what evolution is all about. We're going through a transformation. First, individually, our own selves, as we learn to heal whatever was bothering us, like those demons I mentioned that I had to heal them. Little by little, I got in touch with them and I released them and had to do whatever I had to do, mostly through meditation. And also some sharing and some therapy and some giving my love to the family that I married into, Carter. I became stepmom to his 2 little kids. Wow, that's a good way to get out of yourself. Just go, adopt or foster some kids. You can get out of your own stuff real quick. So once you find peace and unity within your own universe, this body that we have, this temple of our spirit, then you can share it with the world. And I mean share it with your thoughts. You don't need to go out there and raise a banner and drum up money or show up at a parade. You just need to have good, positive, hopeful, and loving thoughts. And maybe a little smile on your face. That's always nice. So, folks, I'm leaving the mud and I'm going into the light. Until next time, Om Namah Shivaya. And we got to have Carter back as a guest, right? You miss him. I know you do. He'll be back. Bye-bye.